Yo, what's good? What's good? You are right now with Mr. Harden, Ninja T, and the GOAT of the GOATs. Why do we call him the GOAT of the GOATs? Because in terms of research, and if you said you were going to the moon, this guy would be able to tell you how and why. Ninja, do you want to explain why Saint Jerome is that guy?
Yes, he has a degree in aerospace engineering and used to work for the European Space Station, which is basically the NASA of Europe in Germany.
So yeah, when it comes to research, I think he knows what he's talking about. So Saint Jerome, what we researching today?
Okay, so good to be here again. This is the second episode of The Chop, and today we are going to be chopping up Terra Virtua.
Ooh, okay. This is gonna get a little bit spicy.
By the way, it's currently 13 minutes past 6 p.m. Tuesday, the 22nd of March, 2022. At time of recording.
Ninja, do you want to take it away with a disclaimer?
Yes. So disclaimer. If you could make me the co-host and let me just get that disclaimer up right now. I love that Ian Dunlap, the master investor, used Canva in the latest Market Mondays. That makes me
Wait,
so.
that Market Mondays is ridiculous. I've not even watched it yet because it's that. I need the time to be able to really deep what's going on here. How have you got Mark Cuban, Mike Novogratz, Bonowin, and Josh Brown on the same call? That is. Oh, if they were doing that as a live event, that would standardly be a 50K ticket to go to that event as a live event. And billionaires and millionaires would pay for that ticket easily. It's mad.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so disclaimer. All our content is for education, information, and entertainment purposes only. No information should be considered investment advice or a financial recommendation to buy, sell any assets or place any trades. Please always do your own research. It is very important to do your own analysis before doing any or making any investments based on your own individual circumstances. Always take independent professional advice from a professional advisor or independently research and verify all and any information you may find in our content that you wish to rely upon, whether you wish to make an investment decision or otherwise.
That's because all investments actually do come with risk, especially, all investments come with risk. Please always do your own research. We are not financial advisors, do not intend to be perceived or received as financial advisors. However, we are working in collaboration with several accredited advisors and accountants. So if you're unable to mitigate your risk, then please contact us immediately so we can refer you to an accredited financial advisor.
Absolutely. So, Ash, aka Saint Jerome, is going to be talking about Terra Virtua. So, over to Ash.
Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, let me know if you can see that, please. Right, can everybody see that? Okay, cool. So today we're going to be looking at taking a deep dive into Terra Virtua. So Terra Virtua, what is it? So Terra Virtua is a digital collectibles platform, right? Formed in 2016, 17-ish. And what is a digital collectible? So NFT is a type of digital collectible. However, it's non-inclusive. So the definition of digital collectibles is much more than NFTs. However, recently we've just been hearing about NFTs, but it's important to note that digital collectible encompasses much more and have actually been going on for much longer. So reading through Terra Virtua's documentation, you'll see the word or the phrase digital collectible being used a lot. And I think this is smart from the team because many people still don't know about NFTs, whereas many people know what digital collectible means, because the word digital, everybody knows what digital means. We've been in the digital age now for, you can argue, 25 years plus. And collectible, that's also a familiar word. Humans have been collecting things for the last thousands of years. So humans have been collecting stamps, rocks, you name it, right? So they use the word digital collectible. And what Terra Virtua seek to do is to reimagine, re-engage the way the audience interacts with digital collectibles. And how they're doing that? They're doing that through their own platform on multiple devices. So they have applications on PC, laptop, AR, augmented reality, and VR, virtual reality. So it's interesting to note that Terra Virtua actually started out as a platform solely focused on virtual reality in 2016-17 from the founder Jawad Ashraf, who I'll get onto in a couple slides. I'll talk about the owners, but it actually started out as just a purely VR platform. But in a podcast I listened to, he said that the market just wasn't ready back then in 2017 for VR. So what they had to do, him with the co-CEO, Gary Bracey, they had to sort of sit down and actually reimagine the platform. And that's when they expanded it onto different platforms that were more available, such as mobile and PC and augmented reality. So before I talk too much on just the first slide, let's go into the agenda for today. So we're going to have a look at the problem that Terra Virtua seeks to solve, or I'll put in brackets, or rather new experience that it seeks to provide. So the reason I put that is because if we look at the last Chop episode, we looked at Tyraxa. And what Tyraxa were doing is they went into an industry. So they went into the auditing and business industry that was already existing. And they took a problem, which is mismanagement of communications, and they were trying to solve the problem, right? But what Terra Virtua is doing is they are actually providing a new experience. So they're not seeking to solve an existing issue like Tyraxa did. They're actually seeking to provide a whole new experience with digital collectibles. And they are actually at the forefront of this. They are pioneers in this. You could argue they were one of the first metaverses, Terra Virtua. So then we're going to look at the CEO, team, and funding. It's always important to look at that to see the direction, experience, where the funding and cash is coming from, and of course the team, because it's the team and community that are implementing the project. Then we're going to have a look at Terra Virtua experience. So what actually is Terra Virtua? And so we're going to have a look at their fan cave, the Terra Dome, and AR, VR, PC, and mobile. So in this presentation, there'll just be a few interactive slides, a few visual slides, because it's easier to show it than to just sit and try to explain it. And then we're going to have a look at collaborations. So I think I was really impressed with Terra Virtua's collaborations. A lot of that is actually due to the vast, extensive experience of its co-CEOs, Jawad Ashraf and particularly Gary Bracey, actually, in terms of the connections, because he was working in the gaming industry for over 35 years. And he was in charge of actually taking blockbuster movies and other movies, and he was in charge of turning them into games, right? So for example, Batman, he turned that from a movie into the game. RoboCop, he did that as well. And there's a few others that are well known. So he already had the connections with Legendary Studios, Paramount Studios. So now when we're talking about Terra Virtua, it was sort of, they already had a foot in the door with those connections. So collaborations is a massive thing that Terra Virtua have achieved. And they are also not just looking for the big collaborations, they're also very grassroots at the same time. They're collaborating with a lot of underground worldwide artists to put their digital collectibles and NFTs on their platform. And there's some really talented and amazing art on there. And then we're going to have a look at the TVK, the Terra Virtua Collect token. So the infrastructure does run on a token called Terra Virtua Collect. It's a token because it's not on its own blockchain at the moment. It's actually run on Ethereum. And I think recently they switched to Polygon because of the high gas fees with Ether, I believe. And then we're going to have a conclusion. Okay, so the CEOs. So on the left is Gary Bracey, on the right is Jawad Ashraf. Okay, so Jawad Ashraf he actually conceptualized Terra Virtua in 2016, 17, and then he met Gary Bracey at a coffee shop. He was hard to get in contact because he's a big dog in his industry, which is video games. But when they linked up, he told Gary Bracey of this idea of a metaverse for digital collectibles, where that revolutionizes the way people can view, interact, and share their digital assets. And Gary Bracey was all for it. So officially 2017, they got on the road with development. So now Jawad Ashraf himself, he has over 30 years experience in the computer industry. He has a computer science or engineering background, I believe, and he worked within the industry and within risk management as well, within energy as well. So he has a lot of experience.
Wait. Is he actually the first person to have his, is he actually the first person in line? Is he doing it with Neuralink?
Sorry, say that again?
Is he working with Elon Musk's Neuralink?
I don't know, actually. Somebody can.
No, it's just because of the whole first in line to download his brain to an artificial intelligence bot.
That meaning, okay. Potentially then. Yeah. I thought that just meant he was highly intelligent, but I didn't mean literally. Okay, that's very interesting. I'll have to look into that. So yeah, that's Jawad Ashraf. He said he's always been at the forefront of technologies. So in the podcast I listened to, he said that when the world was in the console era, so like late 90s, he got into the PC era, right, early. And then he said when everyone was just getting into the PC era, he started coding and playing about with mobile applications. So he was in front of that wave as well. And then when the world started getting into mobile applications, he started to look at VR. Now this is 2014, 2015. He said he was inspired to form Terra Virtua from finding out that Facebook actually bought Oculus Rift in 2013, I believe. So he said when he saw that, he just started to get into VR as he knew that was a future. But as I said earlier, Terra Virtua's initial focus on VR sort of ahead of the game to the extent that they had to switch their strategy because there just wasn't enough market adoption of VR at that early time, 2015, 16. So then they expanded to different platforms, and which ultimately helped it become more resilient and more compatible with different platforms today. And they still do VR. So there's still a big future in VR, and it's just growing at an adoption every year. So now onto Gary Bracey. So Gary Bracey is actually BAFTA nominated. And as I said before, he was fundamental in turning some big movies into the gaming counterparts. And he has a lot of experience in the gaming industry and entertainment industry. He worked for a company called Ocean Software. He founded a company called Digimask. And so he has experience in all aspects of video game creation. And he's also worked in Asian markets as well as Western markets. Like I say, RoboCop, Batman, Cobra, Platoon, they're just a few examples of movies that he's been personally in charge of, the teams that brought them into the video game world. So onto the team. So I took this just straight off of Terra Virtua website. So this is just some of the team. You can go and see this for yourself if you're interested in seeing the team in more detail. But what I thought was interesting about the team is there's some quite a unique, let me say, roles there. So I've never seen a head of Asian Pacific. For example, Vitor Lee, in a lot of projects I've researched, I've not seen them actually got a head of Asia to push that project in Asia. They've got a community in...
You know what? I've actually seen that in different companies. I can't say
Okay.
at the top of my head. I can't say at the top of my head exactly where, but having like a content specific person is something that I would say more kind of like future companies have in mind.
Is that,
Any comments on that, Mr. Harden? No.
I'd agree. Like all the big corporates, though, if you're gonna go for global expansion, then we know everything needs China.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen focus on Asia as well as the West. So a community manager in Asia as well. And as you'll see later, Terra Virtua are really trying to just get the best digital collectible creators on their platform. So they're grassroots. So you see the Art Community Growth Associate, Rudy King, have people actually interacting with artists who make amazing art, trying to get them onto the platform. So you have your more traditional chief financial officers as well, marketing directors. So yeah, the team is very experienced and yeah. So we'll go on to the funding. So as I said before, Terra Virtua actually released in 2016-17. Now, I can't find too much details on the initial equity backers because it's not provided by Terra Virtua. That's why I put this thin blue line here. So prior to this blue line, you have the equity investors from 2016, and then they did a 2018 round of funding, right? So I believe the equity investors just must have been connections that Gary Bracey or Jawed Ashraf already had, and they got in then. And then they did a 2018 round, of which I could not find any details or facts on as well. But what I did read is Terra Virtua said when the bear market came in 2018, that is when they changed, 2017-18, that is when they changed the focus from just VR into PC, mobile, desktop, AR as well. So they expanded and sort of rebranded themselves. So that might be a reason for why they didn't include too much information about those early investors in the company. However, post 2018, the rebirth of Terra Virtua, it saw some more seed and private equity funding. So there was a seed round post 2018, private, and a private to marketing. This is all before the public got in. And I believe these equity rounds ended in December 2020. So this is not even that long ago, considering we just got out of 2021, more or less. So essentially just over a year ago, Terra Virtua finished their seed funding, you can say. Obviously not taking into account the seed funding from when, before they sort of redecorated or changed their vision in 2017.
Wait, let me just get this clear. They changed their vision from VR to NFTs, but they were always interested in blockchain.
Yep. So essentially, they changed it from just a focus on viewing a virtual world through VR and have so not necessarily NFTs, but just having digital collectibles in a digital world. Right. I've got some videos coming up, so you might understand a bit more when I show those. In fact, what I can do is have a quick search. So, Terra Virtua.
Wait, is it moving to Tezos?
So they've recently got a partnership with Tezos.
Oh, snap.
So the video of their initial VR. So initially 2017, they had a VR AR collaboration with Wax. So they would try to just build a metaverse that was in virtual reality. You could have NFTs in there.
Wait. I'm so confused. Is this multi-chain? Because it's on the Wax blockchain, it's on Ethereum, and now you're telling me it's on Tezos.
Right. So this collaboration with Wax, it ended. So what they are on, they're on Ethereum blockchain now. But they have recently gained a partnership with Tezos. So yes, it is multi-blockchain. Right. So there's some really interesting footage of the early prototypes, but they seem to have moved in a different direction. Right. So go back to funding. All right, so so I'll try and make that a bit more clear when I get onto what the ecosystem actually is. So back to funding. So they had these backers in their 2020 round. Woodstock, Hashid, NGC, see Moonrock there. So there is some industry known backers in this project. And as we can see, I think an important column in here is the prices again. So as we saw last time with Tyraxa and how Michael eloquently explained how the whales operate their games, I think an important column to see in here is this third column where you can see the price.
I was just about to say, what's the price of this right now?
Right. Let me find out. Collect. So the coin is called Collect. So the price now, let's put it in dollars. I know a lot of people are complaining, retail are complaining about the price right now. so it's $0.12 right now. So it's actually up quite a lot since their public sale. 0.12, yep. If you look at the chart.
Yeah, it's at least 10x from the initial public sale.
But I guess retail are potentially complaining because it did have a pump and it's down from the pump. But if you did stay in from the initial public round, then you would be up. And that was after 2020, December. So, but when it got released to the public, the seed and private backers already had more than a ×2, as you can see. So theoretically, they could have then dumped half and they would still be up, right? So it's quite interesting to just know that even the public, they get 0.73%. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You look at the 6th column, the public get 0.73%. Compared that to the amount that the private backers get, which is 36.83%. So it just shows a comparison there of who, you know, who has the most.
The VC game, baby.
Okay.
I can't wait till we have a Blockchain Sensei VC. I cannot wait.
Right. So this is a Terra Virtua fan cave, right? So I was going to play this video. So Terra Virtua, they have a app that you can download, laptop, PC, mobile, and laptop, PC, mobile. So this is part of their metaverse, essentially. So you can download the app, any 2D or 3D collectibles that you have, you can put them in your fan cave, and you can explore that world on the app or in VR. I missed out VR from that list. So mobile, VR, PC, right? So I imagine this looks quite a lot better in the VR world.
Question.
Yep.
Can you invite people to your cave at the moment, or is it just one person at a time per cave?
Yep, so you can invite people to your cave, and they're actually working on turning this into a whole metaverse, not just a cave.
So right now, literally today, I could have a meeting with somebody in this cave and then show them my assets.
Yep, so from my understanding, yep. So you could have this is where NFTs come into it, right? So you could have your 2D NFTs on the wall. They have their own 3D VFlex, they call them, these little robots here. You can show them there. And they also have a Terra Dome. So Terra Virtua actually had a collaboration with King, Godzilla vs. Kong. And those NFTs, those 3D digital collectibles were quite big. This is from RoboCop, and they're just some of the collaborations that they've had.
Question again. So, you know, in terms of the, that looks like Pacific Rim. In terms of the bigger NFT items,
Yep.
you showed there was a video playing on the screen before from Top Gun. So does Terra Virtua allow you to own parts of a film?
So Terra Virtua, they have IP, intellectual property agreements in place. So they have one in place with Top Gun. So I don't know if this is just an example where they're playing parts of the film, but I know that they potentially could allow you to have part of that as part of the intellectual property agreement. For example, the first major studios or movie that they did an IP partnership was The Godfather. So people could have the Godfather posters in their Terra Dome, as you see here.
And then actually own the full IP to the Godfather poster or part IP.
So yeah, they would own that digital collectible then. They would own that. They don't own the IP because the IP is actually Terra Virtua's relationship with the production company. But what they do is they make connections with these companies and then say, well, okay, we're going to put a collection out for this movie. We're going to use our platform, Terra Virtua. We're going to get artists to design it. And we're going to allow the user to store it in our metaverse, right?
So it's very similar to VV, but it just hasn't taken off in the same way.
So it's very similar to what?
VV, you know, the one that's got all the Disney stuff on the Marvel
right
stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, so essentially it is you could class them as a competitor potentially. What I feel Terra Virtua are focusing on is the way you interact with these digital collectibles. So obviously through what we're seeing now through their, and through their fan cave and through the actual metaverse that they're developing. It's going to be a different way, because you can have them in AR as well. So you can show your NFTs or digital collectibles through a mobile app on AR. You can look at them through VR glasses, or you can just download this app and view the laptop like we're viewing it now. So I think they're actually focusing on the way, not just selling digital collectibles, actually the way that the consumer can interact with them. So this was one from the Godzilla versus Kong movie. Right, so to try answer Michael's question from earlier about did they always have a focus on NFTs? I guess it depends as what you class as an NFT. So what Terra Virtua would do is they get IP from a company, right? And then they make a digital collectible and sell it on their platform. So you class that as an NFT. So they have had a focus on that since their inception, but their inception was focused solely on viewing them through VR. But now, as we can see on those two videos, you can actually view it from mobile or from a laptop as well. You're not wearing VR glasses, because this would be how we'd be viewing it now through our PC. We'd actually download the app and just log in and see it like this, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. With VR, it would have limited it dramatically.
Yeah, exactly. So I did add this recently. So yeah, turn this down. So I added this slide for this presentation. Also have an art gallery as well. Wow. So you can actually go into the art gallery and buy NFTs through their art gallery, right?
Oh, wow.
Imagine this is like OpenSea, but it's virtual, right? So this is really what they mean when they say they're revolutionizing the way that you interact with your digital collectible. All right. So another thing that they have developed is on the mobile app, it is a AR. So you can, this is a VFlect, their own digital sort of mascot that you can buy. Each one is unique, different characteristics. And in their future roadmap, they are going to allow much more utility for these VFlex. But this project, I guess, is still quite new. It's only been out really for a year. And so they've literally just got out of their beta. But in their roadmap, as I'll show later, they have a play to earn game where you need a VFlect to actually participate in that economy. So yeah, this is just an example of them on mobile devices and how they're further incorporating into their metaverse.
Wait, so these are working things now, like people can have the VFlex and film themselves with a VFlex now?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, there is a magnitude of VFlex out on their digital collectible store or their NFT store on their website. Right, so this is their digital collectible store, and as you can see, some VFlex are there. In addition, they have digital collectibles from other artists worldwide, right? And Terra Virtua really impressed me because they're always looking for partnerships and always looking for ways to tap into a so-called normie fan base, a fan base that doesn't know about blockchain technology or a fan base that doesn't know about NFTs, right? Because NFTs, as I said before, are a form of digital collectibles, but digital collectibles existed before them, and people did engage in digital and physical collectibles. So a collaboration with the Hero Super League in India. So this is the top football division in India, and Terra Virtua collaborate with them to offer their and sponsor their football cards. So if anybody remembers shootout cards or match attack cards,
yeah,
imagine those, but in the digital world. So Terra Virtua are actually partnered with.
Wait, what is this? Board Ape 4240 Platinum. What's going on with this item?
So this is Terra Virtua's V-Flex style of a Board Ape. So
wait. Do they own Board Ape 4240 and then they've done a VFX style of it?
I actually don't know, but I guess that would make sense, right? Or they
Yeah,
might. Yeah. I guess they would have to.
Wait. Can you Google Board Ape 4240 and see if it looks like that?
Yeah.
You know the question that's coming about this marketplace in a second, don't you?
No, I don't, but I'm excited for it.
This secondary marketplace.
Wow, okay. To be fair, it doesn't look that much alike to me.
Nah, it doesn't look like at all.
Oh, it does.
But let's
Yeah.
read.
Oh yeah. He's got the coin on his head. Look. Coins on his eyes.
I swear it had like the green in the same places and that.
So when we asked the Bored Apes community, they wanted the opportunity to license the Bored Apes they own. So it looks like they've actually contacted the individuals to get the IP rights to make a Terra Virtua V-Flex. So this is new to me as well, but it just shows that Terra Virtua are literally.
So they don't have a direct partnership with Bored Ape. They've just contacted the owners of those said Bored Apes. Nice.
Correct. Yep. So this marketplace, imagine your other NFT marketplaces. So Terra Virtua have their own, where they allow artists from around the world to upload their work. Now, Terra Virtua, to buy a digital collectible from Terra Virtua, it's a fiat on-ramp. So you don't use crypto, you use your Visa, right? Now, they've done this to allow the vast majority of people who follow the major movies like Godzilla versus Kong, who follow the Indian Super League, to come on and buy their digital collectible without having to know anything about blockchain technology or how to use crypto to buy digital collectibles. So that is a interesting take, but it makes sense. And they actually swallow the fees. So I read that they were swallowing all these e-fees, and that's why they recently had to move to a cheaper blockchain, because it's straight fiat on-ramp to buy their digital collectibles, to make it as easy as possible for the consumer. So let's talk about collaborations. There's so many collaborations. I could literally do a whole lecture just on the collaborations that
Man called it a lecture. It's not a webinar, it's a lecture, baby.
could do a whole lecture on just the collaborations. And since I made this presentation a week ago, they've done so much more. So these are just the sort of big ones that a lot of people know, because of, these are international movies or brands. Godfather, 2019, as I said earlier. So this was probably the first IP, intellectual property relationship that they made with a major brand. I believe The Godfather is Legendary Studios. So that probably has come from Gary's connections from being in the movie and gaming industry. So what that allowed you to do was allowed you to buy NFTs, Godfather NFTs, from the 2D NFTs, from the Terra Virtua marketplace, and then, yeah, just have them, or you could put them in your Terra Virtua Dome and just have a look at them there, invite your friends.
Question, being as this is multi-chain, can you hold these NFTs from Terra on a MetaMask?
Right, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. No, but I'm gonna find that out. That's an important question. Yeah, I currently do not know the answer to that.
Yeah, because I want to know if it's centralized or if it's decentralized. That's the key thing for me.
Yeah, that is true. Something is telling me it's just within their metaverse, which is Terra Virtua, which is one sort of question I have for their future. How are they? There's so many metaverses now that's bringing up. How are they going to interact, or are they gonna even interact with these other metaverses? Because
this is where, when you said it was cross-chain, this is where I'm interested, because
right.
if they're going to allow these assets to be able to be applicable on anything on the Polygon network or any platform on other networks, or the what was the other network? Tezos network and Ethereum. That's a major move. Well, because no one's doing that at the moment. If they're not doing that, then yeah, it's a big area of work for them to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if they've got a secondary marketplace. If they've got a secondary marketplace and they can do that, that's amazing.
I'm personally not too knowledgeable in the NFT space. So secondary marketplace, could you explain more what that incorporates?
Yeah. So secondary marketplace is just where somebody can now resell to another user on the platform. So let's say, for example, I bought this Bored Ape 4240 Platinum. I bought it for 7,500. I could now sell it to you for 8,000 and make 500 profit.
Right. So that would be through OpenSea, presumably. Yeah.
OpenSea is a secondary marketplace, but most platforms have their own marketplace inside them. So Terra Virtua should have a marketplace where people can buy and sell and swap, and they don't just have to buy from them.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, so that's probably a massive plus then, if they can go down that route of reselling, because I guess most value is within reselling. So ultimately, right, so back to collaborations. So the collaboration with Netflix series Lost in Space in 2020, I believe we saw one of their 3D NFTs that they made in collaboration with Lost in Space in the Terra Dome in the video earlier. So what Terra Virtua seek to do is so when fans of these series find out that you can actually buy their digital collectibles, Terra Virtua seeks to be the platform that allows people to easily buy and interact with them. So they have a lot of reach with these massive collaborations. Again, Pacific Uprising, which is Legendary Entertainment, 2020, they did 3D NFTs with them. Top Gun, 2021. And Godzilla versus Kong, 2021. This was a massive drop that they did in their platform. Right, so these are like the big collaborations. And for any platform to move forward, it has to have a grassroots as well. And it has to stay unique. It has to keep on iterating on itself and finding new ways. So for example, on Terra Virtua, the world's first NFT music animation was launched just last week. So Ross Golan, he's an award-winning musician. He's worked with Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, and other people. So he actually released the world's first music animation on Terra Virtua platform. So that's, again, that's introducing more people to this platform and to digital collectibles and NFTs. So as I said earlier, there is a partnership with the Indian Hero Super League, which is the top league in the Indian, in the Indian football league structure. And Terra Virtua launches the world's first NFT-only graphic novel. So that's more innovation there again. And Nitro League, a new play-to-earn racing game, is launched on Terra Virtua. So as you can see, these are just a few examples that I picked, but they are very, very active in the space, always making partnerships for new people to come on their platform.
Nice. I'm gonna have to check out some of those games.
So these are some of the
Partnerships.
that they have. So obviously, Paramount, Top Gun, Godfather. These are massive industries that I've mentioned already. And then obviously you have Oculus Rift there because they are still heavily involved in VR. They just weren't, they just thought the market wasn't ready for it at the time when they came out in 2016. They're still been developing, and they are still involved in viewing your NFTs and collectibles through the VR world. As I said earlier, they moved blockchain matic in order to reduce, well, layer 2 matic in order to reduce these there. So let's talk about tokenomics now. As we looked at the chart earlier, we see that it's actually up now on the public offering. So the token is TVK, Terra Virtual Collect, max supply 1.2 billion. And if we look at our chart here, we can see the distribution of it. So all the private equity that we went through earlier, you can see it there. You can see public 0.73%. It actually has vesting periods. The tokens are vested from the private rounds and from the equity rounds. The tokens are vested over a 2 to 3 year period. And Terra Virtua also have a prestige club. So the more Terra Virtua you own, essentially it's like a unique club. So if you hold a certain amount of Terra Virtua, you get exclusive, which I think is a way for them to encourage holders and to encourage their community as well. So,
Question on these guys: do they have a Discord?
do they have a Discord? I believe they do. I didn't dive into their Discord for this research, but I believe they do.
Ninja, can you search that for us?
Yeah. What's that? Terra Virtua Discord, yeah?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh yeah, there is one.
Found it?
Yeah, it was there. Oh, this
yeah,
that's
yeah, right there. Oh, yeah.
yeah. Join it for us and see what it's saying.
Yeah, man, I'm doing it right now.
So, as I said earlier, their roadmap, Tesla's integration, Cardano integration. So I think,
Wow.
I do feel like they're looking for interpolarity and integration with being able to exchange secondary markets. I do think that would be a smart move. But yeah, it's good to see those integrations with Cardano and Tesla's blockchains. And they're just going to keep on working on their metaverse, essentially.
What's Casper?
Casper.
I think this is one of them ones where by discovering something, you discover something. Casper blockchain. Casper network. Search Casper network.
Okay.
I loved it. This is my favorite bit.
Proof of okay. Proof of stake blockchain.
Why Casper? What does it do?
Okay, so it's a blockchain.
It's an open blockchain for anyone to use.
Yeah. Proof of stake blockchain. Cool.
Okay.
So as I said earlier, play to earn game with their VFlex and just general enhancement of the whole ecosystem. So it looks like that they're in a good position, a good team, and that yeah, they have a lot of growth for the future.
Yeah. I think key takeaways for me. We're on the conclusion now.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say for me, it's a great platform. It's basically the competitor to VV. I just feel VV is currently in a stronger position because they have a secondary marketplace that is absolutely going off, which literally like people are buying things for like £10 and then they're reselling them for like 500. So VV's turned into like a full-time job for some people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Terra want to do. So it'd be amazing to hear that they have a secondary marketplace. One thing that's interesting with these guys that VV doesn't have is that they have games and then they're going into the play to earn aspect, as I think that's going to be, especially if you can start making play to earn games based on movies.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. Like if you can do play to earn games based on movies and then resell those assets on the secondary marketplace.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know if these guys are thinking like that, but we're gonna, yeah. Someone from Terra Virtua will probably watch this and then go, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I feel like that's a massive potential opportunity there. So say you have IP. I feel like in the near future, we might even see NFTs in movies. So if we go to the cinema and we're watching a movie, now Terra Virtua have a IP collaboration with this movie. There might be a little hint in that movie, right? And then if you buy the NFT from Terra Virtua, you get to see what that little hint was about in the movie or something like this.
Oh yeah. Secret endings and like Easter eggs.
Exactly, but it won't affect the movie. You still can watch the movie.
Yeah.
The movie as normal. But I see those selling for a lot of money as well. Because it's like you get to know something that the whole world won't know potentially.
Yeah. Unless you own that NFT. That's sick.
So I feel like we might start to see that in the future. VFlex games. So yeah, play to earn now is something that that quite excited to see. I checked out Maestro mentioned Gorilla Mansions. I'm actually excited for that as well. Because when he mentioned that, I started to look at that.
Yeah, no, that project is, can I just say, I don't know if it's going to pop or not,
Yeah.
but they put in work. The people at Gorilla Mansion, they
Yeah.
put in work, mate. Like he's always DMing me in this space, Gorilla Mansion space, and I'm like, I can't, but I'm going to when I can. Also, just to comment, I'm currently on the Terra Virtua Discord, and these guys have so many licensed servers. I mean, not sorry, they have so many different channels or servers, whatever the correct term is.
You show it on the screen, or are you doing it on your phone?
Yeah, no, I can do it because I've got there's Discord on here. I can show it. Look at this. These guys got licensed NFTs. They've got a whole Bored Ape Yacht Club V-Flex section. Look. Let's actually count how many Bored Apes they've licensed. 1, 2, 3. Well, this might not be all of them. This is just Jacker from Terra. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. That's about 28. That's like 40-ish Bored Apes.
Go down a sec. Go to selling, because is that the secondary marketplace? DM me. How are people selling?
Oh, so this is like an unofficial secondary marketplace, but via Discord. Maybe. For sale. Listed two of the boys at 10% discount.
Highest last sale. So they do have a secondary marketplace.
Trade history. Oh.
Yeah, they do. Secondary marketplace.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Okay, this is a gem then. So this is showing good signs. So they just need to literally, this could be as big as VV, if not bigger.
In terms of that little V-Flex that you're looking at, the Bored Ape ones. So I guess in anticipation for the play to earn game that is coming up, people might be starting to buy V-Flex because it's going to allow them to earn from that game. Because I feel like you need a V-Flex to earn in that game. And it's a V-Flex game, right? And those Bored Ape ones, they're just the highest ones, but the actual floor price of a V-Flex is very low. So
yeah, man, we're gonna have to put the team onto this one. So we got some potential stuff with Blockchain Sensei and Terra Virtua in the pipeline. So that's why we thought we'd get you guys to do the research and see where we're at with it. We're gonna send this to the people that we're meant to be doing the collab with them. And yeah, watch this space. Yeah, man, bro. Thank you for that amazing work.
Thank you.
Amazing. Any parting words, Ninja? What's your opinion?
Honestly, I'm definitely excited to jump in the Terra Virtua ecosystem, something that's overdue. I feel very motivated now that Saint Jerome has presented such compelling research. And yeah, just to everybody who's listening to this, whatever level you're at in Web3, whenever you're listening to this, because I have this new thing now, Mr. Harding. Every time we release content, we should assume this is getting 1 million views minimum by 2050. So to the hundreds of thousands of people that listen to this audio with it by 2050, I would, as I said in yesterday's episode of the game, by the way, every Monday, 8 p.m. to 9:30 UK time, the game, tap in. I said that the biggest gains are created if you can get into something before the explosion. So I'm not saying Terra Virtua is something that is going to explode, but foundationally, feel like I'm even more compelled that it's something that, like you said, can be as big, if not bigger than Heavy.
Definitely. It's got all the right setup, so we'll just see what happens. Nice,
Saint
nice.
Jerome, thank you very much. This has been The Chop, episode 2.
Best up. See you later, gang.
Much love. Thank you.